GM, does it work now? Hopefully it is. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining in. Really excited. We're doing round two here. We wrangled up Richard. We've done our test, and we're going to show you a little bit more on where we're going and where the opportunity in this market is with AI. Just as a quick primer, right? What we really want to understand is that we're at this amazing precipice, right, of understanding where the market is going from here, right? We have this ability of not only having crypto being a massive, massive upside, but we also have another generational technology coming at the exact same time, and that's AI, right? We've never really had this type of two major generational shifts of technology happening in parallel, right? Which is really amazing. And with that, we want to figure out how to tap into that. And I think getting advantages on AI is going to be important. It looks like some people can't hear. Let's do the old trick of screen sharing something random, and that will probably work with a few of you. Hold on, real quick. Let me just do that. Share my random screen. God, why is Discord so weird on this front? All right, Torts, David, can you guys hear now? Yeah, weird. I screen share magically. You can listen and hear now at this point. Okay, well, at least that's resolved. So, as we mentioned, what I really want you guys to get ready for is not only understanding, how do we get these opportunities around runes and all the other liquid meta protocols like BRC20, CBRC20, TAP, and even more, right? ARC, and Lord knows we're probably going to see 10 more other liquid meta protocols come. But it's also understanding how do we not only navigate that manually with our wallets, but how do we now maybe leverage new tools to make us go faster? And I think the collectors in this market that are going to leverage tools the fastest are those who are going to win the fastest. And right now there's a lot of stuff over indexed on runes. We already know how expensive it's going to be. We already know how crazy it's going to be. So what I really do recommend is, yes, day 0, day 1, day 2 is going to be nuts. You want to be paying attention. But what I'm really now looking for are tools that will help me navigate day 30 and beyond having, right? Once the mania goes, how do I start making intelligent moves with my limited time? And if you can do that correctly, I think AI is going to be one of the best tools out there. And guess what? There's already someone building this out there. The team at BTC Bot AI is already doing some really cool stuff with natural language. You'll be able to actually mint utilizing their AI portal, very similar to ChatGPT. So in today's session, we're going to walk through and actually see how that system works. And feel free to ask questions in chat. I'm also going to pester Richard with some questions here as well too. And really, it's trying to get a lens into the future because I actually believe by the end of this year, everyone will be using AI alongside crypto to interact. It will be the most efficient way to do so. Outside of that, right? If you're not paying attention to AI, you're going to be left behind. You're going to miss that arbitrage window. So this is a great way for us to get that initial exposure, but also at the same time, it's a really, really great way just to see great AI tech in development. So let me bring up Richard here. He's been awesome. I really can't wait to hear a little bit more about what they're building. And then, of course, see the product live, which is going to be really exciting here. Let me bring him up. Hey, what's up, Richard?
Yo, GM. Yo,
How's
so
it go?
pumped.
Hey, pleasure to have you here, man. We're really excited as well. I think as we look into this market, I'm sure it's a huge week for you. You've been announcing a few different partnerships as well, but maybe you could give us just a quick breakdown on who you are, what brought you to building this tool, and what do you guys think about your future? It would be really great to just hear your thesis, and of course, dope OMB you're rocking here with your green eyes as well.
Yo, thanks. Yeah, so I'm an on-chain DGen, so been DGenning since 2017 basically, and just stuck with it through the ups and downs, and just put up with so much of the manual stuff over and over and over again, right? So what I did was I formed a team. We're all on chain, so we've all minted from smart contracts. We've all been on chain with everyone else, kind of dealing with this manual stuff. And what we're doing is we want to do is take and channel AI. because we've all used ChatGPT. Wow, like how easy it is. It does all this stuff, right? But what if we could channel that toward all the on-chain manual stuff we need to do, right? And basically build something that makes it super super easy, because we're always looking at the newest thing in crypto, and for the newest thing, it's always the most complicated. It's like newest, most complicated, but we want to do that successfully. So yeah, what we want to do is basically, we made this app to try to make it as easy as possible, built by the degens for degens, channel ChatGPT into it. So what we want, what we built is basically the uh, ChatGPT for inscriptions and runes. You just kind of tell it what you want to do, and our AI will actually execute that transaction for you. So set it up, it will execute, it will mint it straight to your wallet. So no more dealing with the manual stuff. Just tell the AI what you want to do, it will do for you.
Amazing to hear, man. Right, this is the dream you want, right? Just wake up as a degen, tell AI, grab me a bag of this, and go, right? And I think that is going to be not only the philosophy, but as you guys build out these tools, and we'll probably talk about this later. I could see a lot of cool stuff, right? Where you're setting up logic to pre-run when SAT fees hit certain levels, right? Or you're creating other intelligent decisions where if I see something hit X amount of volume or X amount of wallets that I'm tracking hit, mint this as well. Like, I think you're going to see a lot of these interesting logical structures that would allow you to get exposure even in your sleep, right? With the risk threshold you want to a certain extent. A little risky, but I think this is where the world's going to come, right? Is that why are you limited to farming or claiming when you're awake, right? How do you use that in a 24 cycle, which I think is also really interesting. But, I think in the meantime, we already know how hard it is right now when we think about how do you mint runes has been the big question. We have the whole nodes, set up a node right now. It's like, okay, are we waiting on Xverse and Luminex, or hey, are there other third party tools, or hey, am I just fading this all for the first couple of days? So I love that we're going to be seeing these different options here, Richard, and really excited to kind of actually walk through your bot. So I think probably
Yeah,
what
for
would be
sure.
really helpful here is maybe, yeah, going through a walkthrough here, or I'll kind of defer to you.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So, perfect. Let me share my screen now, and let's make this happen. Okay, increase this. Ooh. All right, you guys see it?
Yep, working for me.
Let's
Awesome.
go. All right. So just like ChatGPT, once you log in, then you can just give an instruction what you want to do. So in this case, if you want to mint something, right? Okay, BRC20, you can just tell each other, yo, mint me this. Okay. And then you just press execute, and then what we'll do is basically it will then set up that mint for you. So as you can see, boom, all right, set up, easy as that. Then one button, okay, one button, no more extra. You don't need to decide, do more settings. Just one button, hit execute. That's all you need to do. Okay, bam, all right, boom, we've done. We've really done the mint for you. Okay, so literally you just tell it. And I'll show you another thing. It's just like ChatGPT. You can give it more instructions. You can kind of talk back to it. So, like for example, right? Sometimes, as we all know, we minted something. Oh no, more people are minting, and it's kind of lagging behind, right? So we want to accelerate. I want to boost my transaction, right? So just like ChatGPT, you just go back and you just say, hey, speed it up to, okay, what's turbo? Okay, turbo's this. Okay, this. I would show you something very specifically right now, intentionally. So I'm going to say, okay, speed up to 154. Okay, so 154 fees. So that's going to be sped up. Okay, it's going to tell me, oh, okay, well, actually, to speed up, you need to do at least this, right? So then what I'm going to say is kind of accelerate. All right, accelerate to this amount here. So just like ChatGPT, I can just give it normal, just talk to it like normal. Boom. Okay, so here it goes. All right, all I gotta do is hit execute. All right. Okay. The fees are very
Yeah,
expensive, so unfortunately, you couldn't see it.
yeah. I mean, actually, you're running into you got to actually split out your UTXOs here. It looks like one of your UTXOs is too large to make this in this transaction, but no, makes tons of sense here. In regard to these fees. So walk me through what are the networks you guys are currently supporting, and it looks like right you'll be ready for runes on day zero is the goal set.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So we'll be ready for runes on day zero. So so let me clear this out for you. And basically, for runes, basically we'll be ready for runes. So you can just say, we'll have runes as default. So you don't even need to say runes here. Okay. Right now I'm saying BRC20, just like ChatGPT, you gotta kind of tell what you want, right? But for runes, we're gonna have a default. So you can literally just give the ticker, okay, literally just say mint me, ticker, or you can just say mint, you can say however you want, right? Or if you're in a rush, you spell mint wrong, doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just we got you, right? So just like ChatGPT, will kind of set it up here. It'll probably be good. I'll show you. But we will support runes, we support BRC20, we support TAP, we support DMT. Uh and those will be the four. Those will be the four, but we're all constantly adding. So we'll constantly be adding more and more.
Really cool. And then walk me through, as we look at these kind of layers here, my quick question here is then, can you do more than mint functions? I'm curious, can you do, swap functions, LP functions, or is this primarily a mint and accumulation platform for now to start?
Right, right. That's a great question. So we have multiple functions. So let's say you minted it to yourself, right? Now you want to transfer. So we have transfer too. So transfer, BRC20 Doge. So it's the same thing. So yeah, we have transfer as well. So yeah, there we go. So all right. So I have transfer. Sometimes it's a little finicky. We're still kind of working through some stuff. But yeah, we will have transfer on there. We'll have deploy on there as well. And then we just announced a partnership for like liquidity. So, for example, let's say you mint some runes, and then you're curious. Oh, I want some more liquidity. I want more liquidity, right? Like I want to borrow against these runes. So we'll actually link you to a borrow platform where you can go and put your runes up and borrow against them. So it start with minting and some basic kind of functions. We will include in the instructions panel the list of all the different functions, but we're gonna have mints kind of nailed down. And then, yeah, like I said, we're just gonna add. We're gonna keep adding more and more. We're just getting started.
No, really cool, man. And yeah, I mean, I think mint function is what 99% of the market is generally looking for. But, I think as you expand, right, I think there's a lot of interesting things. One of the feedbacks I'd say here as well, hilariously, is that you might want to, I don't know, how hard it would be. I think it'd be pretty easy with one click is support testnet as well. And the real reason I would say that, I know that sounds weird, like why would you support testnet? But I do think there's going to be like this interesting counter narrative when you see fees that so many platforms will require to use testnet to do the same minting transactions. Like it almost becomes a pre-rune meta game, right? When fees are so expensive, roll the testnet, farm there, and then you'll get like a correlated action. Curious, have you guys considered supporting stuff like testnet or anything else like that as well?
Yeah, we're currently at mainnet only. We considered it now. The we do have it locally for our own testing, right? Obviously, but yeah, we're at mainnet only for now. Although we do locally test on testnet, we're currently only mainnet, so it's mainnet only for the live folks.
Got it. No worries. We'll trick you into doing some test that stuff, hopefully in the future
Okay.
here as well. No, I think it's really fun, but I think what's also really cool is that, I actually think the more interesting element of your platform is non-rune stuff, in my opinion. And it's not because I don't think runes are going to be really exciting, right? I think the rune protocol is going to bring a lot of attention and a lot of stuff being built. But I think it also means it's going to overshadow a lot of the other token meta protocol systems. So I do see yourselves like, getting advantages on BRC20, TAP, and DMT mints as well. I think that'll also be really interesting here too. So as you kind of look through this platform, I'm curious, do you see yourselves, what would be the expansion or the next features you'd want to see in this roadmap next that you're aiming to deliver kind of post halving?
Yeah, that's a great one. So we really want to expand to mobile even more. So right now we're kind of halfway good in mobile. So if you do Android, we can you can do it on Android. So then the other one is we want to get iPhone going ASAP, and then we want to make that mobile experience super good ASAP. So like if you're uh, maybe like with friends, or you're out just out and about at work, you're not at home, you don't have the desktop, and you hear about something awesome, right? Then you can just from mobile super easily go and mint it. So that's one thing that we're exploring. Another thing that might be actually really exciting for you guys is we're kind of exploring some Discord partnerships. So and very specifically, it would be like actually putting the AI app into Discords, right? So imagine like you got your own like Discord bot in here, right? And you actually got the app in here. You can start accessing and minting stuff straight from your Discord with natural language. So those are the kind of two uh, alphas in terms of the big roadmap pieces, but then the other obvious ones is we're going to be adding, all the different protocols. We're going to be adding those in there. We're going to be partnering with different like dexes, like I mentioned, like the lending and borrowing, that sort of stuff, so then guys can do more than just mint and transfer, but actually you'll do some Bitcoin DeFi stuff like that, right? And then you also mentioned that kind of increased automation, like, oh, maybe I set in some more kind of parameters. That's We're also thinking about that too. We're also thinking about that too. So really, it's all this stuff. It's all that stuff. Yeah, we're thinking about all those things.
Love it, man. I mean, I think that's really great. I mean, I think it's bullish to hear mobile. This becomes like a very clear utility. Like, hey, whenever you leave the house, you still have access to Rune plays in a meaningful way. I think that's great to hear. I think similarly, as you kind of add more of these features, that's going to be great. And then, of course, right, helping like build deploy structures, really exciting here too. So it seems like there's a lot of value here, which is pretty awesome. So walk us through then, as we see, and I think we could walk through a few scenarios, but right now, when we look to the current product, it's, hey, you could essentially be able to mint anything on Runes, BRC20, Tap, and then, DMT Tap, essentially, right? Which I think is exciting and very already clear value. You're then going to add more functions or, verify more functions, like you said, transfer and potentially deploy in the very near future, and then expand, of course, into more mobile utility and more essentially onboarding systems here as well, which is all really exciting. So then walk us through what's your business model here. How are you guys making money and growing, or how do you want to partner with users here too?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we charge, a little bit of fees. We charge a little bit of fees in terms of the mints that you do through us. Nothing, nothing crazy. Just a little bit. If you think about like, one mint, potentially you'll pay like for runes when it gets hypey. The gas will be quite a bit. So maybe like our actual fee relative to gas is actually pretty low. So we'll charge a little bit of fees here. Yeah, so that's how we make money is on people actually using it, which I think is great, right? Because then it forces us to make a really good product, right? So if it isn't super easy, if it isn't supporting all the good things, no one's gonna pay us to use it, so it'll be a little bit of transaction fees. The other thing that you guys can be a part of is just being part is Bitcoin AI, right? Like this is like like mentioned, this is new frontier. We're one of the first, I think the first, really the first to use AI to make on-chain transactions. Period. Is a period. So you can be kind of part of this journey, play with use the bot. In the future, we have a points program right now for people who are using it, right? And then in the future, we're gonna transfer that points program, in the future into token, right? So then we can kind of play around in the future with essentially token and paying for the AI inference costs, and maybe like decentralizing parts of it, and kind of uh, like incentivizing more AI modules and data. So that's kind of the long term of where this whole thing is going. But I would say, yeah, like I mean, this is real big. I mean, yes, Bitcoin AI. We really are the first kind of applying this, and we're gonna keep on doing pretty exciting stuff here. So like I said, we're all degens. We're all degens, so you'll know we'll keep on adding protocols and features of this because we all want to use it here, and we are very much going to leverage the best of what AI has to offer to deliver this for the use case. It will make money off the fees, as long as we do something useful for you guys.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the fee model is pretty standard with these kind of, minting or, executing services. We've seen this before in the form of like Banana Bot and in a handful of tools on the Ethereum side, right? I sense that same model is going to apply here. Makes a ton of sense, right? And I think this is kind of where, as you build your products, as this makes it easier for users to navigate through flows, I think you're going to have a lot of consumers wanting to utilize something like this, not only for ease, but also like, I also think like, a small thing to just keep in your back of your mind is the education, right, of it as well. So like when you do a specific transfer, it'd be great to be able to ask, okay, can you tell me all the things that you just did to make that, mint transfer happen, right? Like small stuff like that also goes far because this is the one thing I've actually learned in my journey as well, Richard. Like almost no one understands the tech, right? As much as we all want to pretend that we care about the
Nobody.
tech, right? BTC is probably the first time a chain forces you to understand the tech to a certain extent, right? Don't get me wrong. There's a ton of people with just Magic Eden wallets who are buying and trading JPEGs, knowing no difference outside if it's on BTC. But I do think, yeah, understanding the technology and then understanding the nativeness of where AI comes is going to be really powerful. And yeah, interesting to hear, because there isn't a lot yet. I think you do have a early mover advantage. Curious to see where it is, but if you've been following shit coins, right? AI shit coins, of course, another vertical here in this world too. So, I think it'll be really interesting across the board. So, as you look at this, Richard, I'm curious, what other tools do you like in this market? Maybe outside of AI. I'm just curious, as you're looking in and getting ready to go into Runes Day Zero, I'm sure you're leveraging this, but are there any other tools that you've come across that have been helpful and valuable? Whether it be understanding when to execute trades, when to find tokens. Curious on what that research side looks like it for you here, and do you see yourselves maybe incorporating that into this platform as well?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, I mean, the two tools, basically, for sure, mempool.space, because you can see different fees, of the different transactions. So it gives you a good sense of, okay, like, how much gas I need to use, right? Using to use Ethereum terms, how much gas I need to use to optimize. So, and you can see us already incorporating it in. We've got turbo mode, which is based off of those gas fees. So we're already starting to incorporate it on the fee side to make it really easy. There's like automated, just a Unibot, right? Like, based off of this fees, you're pretty much guaranteed to get in. So there's that. The other thing that we use that's fairly useful is you can go on Unisat. You can go in and you can actually see what recently people have inscribed, right? So then from there, you can get some alpha based off of what people are inscribing and doing on chain. But that's the thing is that's all that block data is all just public, right? So it's just publicly indexable block data. So that's another thing that we're definitely getting ready to incorporate into is basically different ways to get the alpha straight on the platform itself, right? Like we can see too, like what's being minted and what's happening, right? So that's a little bit extra alpha there. So I would say it would be those two, and then to be honest, uh, be my node for backup, but the AI is is so good that I just I just use the AI, right? So it's like everything's fully caught up to the newest node standards. Everything's in there, right? So I prefer the UX to this, where I can just tell ChatGPT I don't have to worry about, oh no, I messed up my command line prompt. Crap, I missed the mint or lost some money. So there's no worries there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that's great. I think I think Wild West Crypto's doing a few good things. Yeah, one thing I'd recommend is we've been telling people mempool's cool, but what's even better is the ord pool, right? When you're
Right,
looking
right,
at
right.
specifically ordinal based assets, and
That's
you
a
can get
good
a
one.
little bit more visualization there. And then yeah, like for looking at recent inscriptions, I think btctool.pro is probably one of the better ones out there as well too. Especially when you're looking at like BRC inscriptions as well too. So lots of cool things happening, but I appreciate hearing kind of where you are. I think the other thing that we're starting to realize here is that, the fees are going to be pretty crazy on day zero, right? Most people are expecting SAT fees to well be above 1,000, some saying even 5,000, right? Especially in that first block, right? Of course, it'll cool down, but you're looking at a world with pretty high fees. I'm curious, what's your strategy as you think about it? How do you want to use this tool? Are you really trying to engage around day zero around
Yeah,
these
I
fees?
tell
How are
you.
you going to help people educate on that? Just curious how
Yeah,
you're thinking about it.
I would tell you the fees are going to be crazy now. It's going to be super crazy, right? So this is my strategy. Is basically yeah, I'm not gonna go like all in, like all in, put all my liquidity on day zero, right? Because that's crazy. Because the fees are gonna be so crazy, right? But I will definitely save it for some of the later on stuff. I think the later on will be really good. Now, my strategy is just to do a little bit of everything, right? Because you never know, right? You never know. So on day zero, I'll do a little bit, just a little bit of it's kind of the main things. To try to do a little bit of that stuff, just so in case you never know because it could be everyone thinks the fees are super crazy and then they actually don't do something, and then actually there's opportunity, right? So yeah, so just get ready. I'm still ready. I'm gonna do a little bit, right? And then my plan is just do a little bit of everything. So after day zero, do a little bit, kind of spread it out, and then for the ones where I get a sense as though these are starting to pick up, right? I'm like, these are potential. Then I'll put more. I'll put more to it. So that's kind of my strategy. I agree. Yeah, day zero is gonna be crazy, but maybe if you have a little bit of liquidity, you can just do a little bit here or there on day zero, but definitely save up for don't blow it all on day zero because yeah, it's gonna be very crazy. So spread it out.
For sure, right? And I think that's kind of the other interesting thing, right? It is going to be pretty crazy across the board. And, you are seeing a lot of cool things coming into the market. Like one of the things I'd be also recommending people as you kind of get ready for this is new sub tools kind of entering in and trying to find where those windows is exactly as what kind of see with the PTC bot here. It's helping us understand how we can navigate in this space. So, a few questions from the community here right now. Prof J asks, how long does it take to get access, and if we as a community want to get access to this tool, what do we need to do and how can we participate and when can we get access to this in our hands?
Right, yeah, for sure. So Saints got a custom sign up for you guys. So just fill out that custom sign up, and we'll get you on. We'll get you on. We'll shoot to be today. So we'll get you on today, basically. So yeah, they just do the sign up, and then yeah, just there will be more. We'll get you on today, and Saint can kind of pass along more information in terms of how to access, but super easy. Once you get the sign up, right, we just activate your account and then just go to the website and you're in. So you'll be good.
Amazing, dude. Super appreciative, guys. I actually just dropped the form here in this chat. Yeah, I'd probably always recommend your activation wallet should be a new wallet, right? Whenever you're working and interacting with new tools, always use a new wallet. Always great. And then, of course, right, making sure that you could be able to do this. It doesn't look like there's any installation or any requirements, right, outside of just adding your wallet. And curious, do you
Oh,
support all
no.
wallets? Just walk us through that. Yeah.
Yeah, we support all wallets. We support all the main ones. Now the newest one, Magic Eden, we don't have yet. So if you have Magic Eden one, just submit your X first or Unisat. But basically, we do everything other than Magic Eden, and we're gonna get Magic Eden on there soon. But just for like today, to get on today, do the other ones. Uh,
Awesome, guys. And we've been forcing our whole entire community to have Xverse and Unisat, so they should
Boom.
have no
Let's
issues.
go.
But
Heck
good
yeah.
good to know there as well. No, really appreciative there. Yeah, really cool system and really cool tools. Really appreciate it. The next question here, as well as Waldo's Crypto is asking is does the summary prior to execution show the fees? And I think it does. I was wondering if you could
Yeah, it
quickly
does.
just do like another
Yeah,
transaction
go. Hold
here.
on.
Yeah, and run something just, and then we'll kind of highlight line by line. Might be really good for some of the community members of what's
For sure.
outputting here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And this will, just FYI, I do have to run. I do have to run in 1 minute here. So I'm gonna answer this quick, and then I'm gonna answer one more question, and then Saint, you send me some more of the follow-ups, and then I'll answer those. I'll send those if I
Sounds
miss it.
great.
Okay. Okay. So basically, yeah. So the first one here is what is, it's actually formatted a proper transaction for you. So you just double check this transaction, the number of times that you want, your address, and the fees. Okay, it gives you an estimate how long it's going to take. And then you see here, what we did was we actually summed up the whole dollar for you. Okay, so you don't need to like do all the math. Okay, how much does it cost? We sum up the whole dollar amount for you. Okay, but we also break it out for you. Okay, so as you can see, this is our service fee here. So you can see like just the gas, right? It's very expensive. Yeah, but this is the whole sum of everything that you would pay for this, including our service fee and the gas kind of like combined, right? So it's right here. You can see it right here. You can execute UTXO split. Yes, we will have UTXO split for you guys. Okay. So that will be available, and then yeah, that's all I got. I got to run. It's a real honor, being invited to some of these groups. So I'm super happy to be speaking with you guys. GM, sign up for the form. We'll get you on. And then, I'm happy to answer more questions. I'll send it over to Saint via message.
Yeah, we appreciate you so much, Richard. Thanks so much for showcasing this. we'll let you go. I shared the signups. I'll also expand on the signups with an announcement here and try to get you a few hundred users to sign up on this platform. Really love what you're doing, man. And we'll definitely stay in touch and make sure that we'll be leveraging your tools starting on day zero as well, if not before.
Let's go. Yeah.
Amazing,
All
man.
right,
Thanks so much,
GM.
Richard. We appreciate it, man. We'll chat soon. And for those of you who are still here, we can keep the conversation going as well. I think this is kind of why this is pretty exciting, right? Wait, am I still on the stage? Oh yeah, I'm still on the stage. Weird. Okay. Sorry, my UI when he jumped off, my UI is totally broken on my Discord right now, so it went pretty crazy. But really shout out to Richard here. I think this is a really cool use of this tool. This is exactly how I want to interact with the future of crypto. Because let me be very honest, I don't want to do command line bullshit, right? Where I need to be a developer and making sure I understand every single aspect of it and deploying in that manual manner. It's not fun, right? I'm not interested in that at all. What I'm much more interested in is using a tool like this, especially for my more hyper speculative plays. That's what I actually really like about this tool, right? And as I mentioned, yes, I'm curious to see how this works for runes, of course, but I'm actually not caring about runes as much. And the reason I say that is that because I think all the other front ends for runes will be pretty solid, right? Like Xverse and Luminex, they should probably have something pretty good. Of course, this is a nice, helpful thing to have on mobile. Like if this does work as well as it does on mobile, like I almost want to force myself to start using an Android device because that's where he mentioned it only works on Android. That would give me a little bit of confidence to kind of step out of the home post having, right? Where I can maybe feel that I can still get exposure. But I think right now, when you see with this tool, you almost want to have this tool up, right? Ord pool up, and also BTC tools up, and you actually have a really good lens of the market of what you want to do, which is exactly kind of what you want in your own command center, right? You might want to add a couple more tools, right? You might want to throw in Magic Eden if you want to see like how the price action of NFTs are doing. But once you have those, you have a very good understanding of where your entry and exits would be. Yeah, correct. BTCtools.io is, I think, oh, sorry, no, it's BTCtool.pro. God, I'm sorry. I suck at remembering. That's the one thing I really do hate is all these like projects have such different sub URLs here, right? But on btctool.pro, right, is pretty solid because it actually shows you here, I'll actually just show the screen again because my goal is to keep tricking you guys to utilizing more and more tools. That's really the weird goal here. Oh, here, one sec. I can't share my screen. Okay, I'm gonna leave the stage and come back. Give me 1 second. Huh. Okay. Well, can you guys still hear me at the moment right now? Okay. Weird. I can't screen share. Something happened when Richard left the stage, so I'll have to reset this room later. But no need to do it right now. But if you see how BTC tools work, what's actually really interesting is that it gives you the visuals not only right at the homepage in this kind of bubble search, but you could actually go into the different subcategories of token, image, text, and right, this is where you could actually see what's moving here, which is pretty interesting, right? And that's kind of what you want to be spending a little bit of time on, right? Is that go look at those tabs, right? Go into tokens, and it'll show you what was being minted in the last few blocks. And what you can see right now with fees, nothing's getting minted, right? Because now it's way too expensive to play the BRC20 metagame, which is pretty interesting. I'm not screen sharing right now. I'm actually just sending you the links because it looks like screen share is broken. But you should just use btctool.pro. And what you can see is how the market is there. I mean, if this is right, I mean, it looks like BRC and DMT is dead. It's not showing me any of these transactions here at the moment right now. And I think it's exactly because of what these fees have now turned into. The ROI on trying to hit is way too, is way off, right? And that's also why you want to use tools like this because you could see the ebb and flow. But as I mentioned, why do I really like BTC? Why do I really like this AI BTC bot? It's mainly because I'm much more interested on using it for BRC20, CBRC20, DMT, and NAT base and TAP protocol base plays here as well. And the reason for that is I think the market is not going to be looking there as much, but I think those liquid meta protocols will have billion-dollar winners as well too. So it might be an interesting way for me to get exposure to those worlds where I put a lot of my manual time and my direct availability on Rune upside post halving, but maybe I'm using this tool to get exposure to a few other areas that might be cropping up in this market. And yeah, right now, shout out to Wild West Crypto. He just showed you what the entire page looks like on btctool.pro, where you can go into all the different categories and see what's happening. So this is what you really want to get ready for, right? Is the ability to react in real term and move really, really fast. This market's going to shift really quickly, but what we're seeing is that we're going to get locked out this week. So here are the trends we want to keep an eye out on. One, right? Most of these PFP projects that aren't connected to runes are going to continue to struggle. If you want to find entry into some good communities, now's the time with offers. I'm going to be throwing offers in quite a few different places because, man, people are going to be desperate. So I'm looking at a few plays. Like, I still like Odyssey Apes. I like having a little bit more rune pad optionality on that front. And because it's a small supply around 5K, it could actually lead to some meaningful upside long term. It's already dipped down to 0.027. Maybe you could get some, offers in at 0.02 leading into this week. We'll see. They're a little bit connected to Rune, so they might have a slightly different movement. I'm also looking at, Natcats. I really would be looking at Natcats. I think, getting access to another ecosystem, if I could get some offers in, would be really bullish here as well. And then, essentially, you could kind of build your list. I'm also looking for Runestone entry if people get desperate here, and I sense people will get desperate here. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting offers in left and right, people. That's what you want to be doing right now. Offers don't cost you anything to submit right here at the moment right now, or cost you hopefully very little. Actually, I've even forgotten now what our cost here at this point, but I am, putting in dirty lowball offers. Wild West Crypto is right. Like, they allow you to put as low as 50% of their price. I'm honestly putting in between 50 to 70% on most of my offers. Like, I want 30% or more discount on floors. And I'm going to put that into like 4 to 5 projects I like and have value on, and I'm happy with whatever I catch, right? And the cool thing is you're only putting that offer onto a single project, so single item. So you're not worried about the whole collection dumping and then you have to take whatever gets dropped onto you there. It's nothing like that. What you're really going to realize is that, people are just going to feel pain. They're going to feel this pain where they felt like, fuck, I allocated them the wrong thing. Shit. I can't miss the next one, but I need liquidity. What do? Fuck, what's the easiest place I can find liquidity? Let's go check on Magic Eden. Someone's giving me an offer here. Fuck, I'll take it. Right? That's going to be the mindset for a lot of people who are going to need to get out here as well, right? And you want to take advantage of that. You don't want to be that person, right? We told you to be exiting your PFPs this past weekend was your last ability to exit, right, at a meaningful level because fees were low, right? And that's actually why you saw a little bit of run up. But now as fees skyrocket, right? Let's go back. I'm sorry, I can't share my screen right now. But if you go back to Magic Eden, right, you could just follow along and you'll start realizing, wow, almost everything is giving back, right? Bitcoin Puppets has pulled back a little bit. Surprisingly, the one that's going up is shout out Quantum Cats. Quantum Cats is moving back up. They've now reached almost Bitcoin Puppets floor, which is really interesting. Didn't expect that, but it's been great to see them come in. Ape Odysseys are on 0.028, but if we expand to like the PFPs as well, you'll start realizing a few of these will start coming back down. And that's kind of where you want to start finding your interest and your entry points, right? Even Wizards of Ords exploded up to 0.05. Now it's dropped back down to 0.036, right? So you might be able to find entries there. I'm also looking for entries on Blob. I actually weirdly like Blob. And that's the other reason why I'm actually really excited about it is that I think people are also going to get desperate in selling this as well too. So that's kind of where I would have been, right? Is that this big upside here is finding the projects you want entry into and get those 30% discounts, get those 40% discounts here. That's probably the best play at the moment right now. Oni could be that. I don't put Oni on my tier 1 list because Oni is not Ordinal's first. And it's not because I don't like Oni. I actually think Oni's art is the highest res art on Bitcoin, actually. I don't think there's highest detailed and highest res art on Bitcoin, right? Which I think is meaningful. But it's still a secondary connection here, right? Secondary collection to their main Genesis. And that scares me, right? So, like, I'm just not going to be playing into those worlds as much. So, I don't put that high on my list. I don't think it's a bad buy, though, at these prices, but I'm much more interested in native ordinal play. In VS, so would you use some of your liquidity to buy PFPs or over going balls deep in runes? So, this is what my thesis has become, right? It is that I don't expect to do much on day 0 or day 1. That is my personal thesis, right? Because of that, I have rotated some of the liquidity that I was expecting to use on day 1 to now move into PFPs. So I've taken 50% of what my personal expected liquidity that I was going to have ready on day 0, and I'm rotating it into offers this week. I actually think that is the better play for now. But mind you, if you are grabbing PFPs now, you won't get liquidity in a good or healthy way for 2 to 3 weeks. So you have to be okay with that hold window if you're doing that. But because I expect sat fees to be like, okay, like, well, shout out to Migs. He's calling what's happening right now on the current block. It looks insane. We have an insanely long block right now, 71 minutes ago for the last block. And what has it led to? A massive gas buildup. We're at 180 sats in this current block, people. And that's just not even an outlier because 3 blocks before was at 150 sats, right? 7 blocks before was at 168 sats. Like, this is our new reality here at the moment right now. It is going to be nuts. It is going to be ridiculous. If it's 150 now, how is it not 500? Right? And that's kind of an important thing here. As we're kind of being, kind of upside in this market and this opportunity here as well. So look at 180, VB, right? Like I'm on Ordpool right now. I know you can't see it, but like, let me just show you what these guys, for a simple transaction that you're doing for a claim of a token, right? Let's say that's it. If you're claiming, or someone's deploying a token. Okay, someone is right now claiming or transferring Zbit, right? And that cost them on this transaction at 200 sat fees in this block, $20. Right? That's just $20 on that base transaction here at the moment right now. If you wanted to mint a Cat 21, it's $20. If you wanted to deploy a token, it costs $21 at this price, right? So that's the cheap thing, right? It's crazy. Deploy and buy are the same cost here at the moment right now, which could be nuts. Yeah, checkmate. I mean, like, here's the crazy thing. There could be minor collusion here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Why wouldn't you do it at this kind of insane point? But here's the crazy thing. You don't really need, right, to pump this. This will pump organically. This market is so insane right now with the amount of actions and honestly the inefficiency of this chain. The chain of Bitcoin is not built for what we're doing, right? It's not. But we've transformed it to kind of bring these upsides here as well. And I think that's also like a really large factor of this vision and a really large factor of this journey is that, you really want to make sure that you're getting like healthy exposure, but you're also going to realize this market is organically inefficient, right? Which is nuts, right? So this could be a really large element here. Checkmate says the average clears about 1 block per 8 minutes to reach 840,000 on 420, yet they don't want to do it. Yeah, I'm curious to see. That's good to hear on the math right now and what we need on the average clearance of block here. So if that's the case, right, I'm curious to see, whether or not this changes or happens all at the same time. But this is why we want to keep an eye on these blocks, because that is an insanely long block, and holy crap. Again, we're 74 minutes in. It's now 183 sats on this one. Next block is at 165 sats. Third block is at 135 sats in queue. Like, this is just the start of this run, right? We are absolutely going to see, 2,500 sats on block 840,000, if not more, right? We're going to see, probably a consistent 1,000 sat fee for probably the first week, right? And at 1,000 sat fee, let's just do the math here for all of us, right? Roughly, and I'll do better math and show this to you guys later today. But at 1,000 sat fee, right, saying that stays consistently, it means that everything you're minting is going to be around $150 or $80 to $150, depending on the virtual byte size, right, of that asset. So at 1,000 sat fee, holy fuck, if you realize you're doing $100 plus on every transaction, where are you actually going to get entry and exit? That means that you're spending $250 to be able to enter or exit a position. This also then means that it ratchets up the sizes of the positions that you could only take. What does this turn into? It is a whale only game, right? And that's also why I do think a lot of people are going to be way more sidelined. And I also think why I think a lot of people are going to be. Don't get me wrong, there probably will be a meme coin launches on day ends up going $1 billion market cap within the first week. I just don't like my odds of that. I don't like my odds mainly because everything right now is so cheap to deploy, but so difficult and costly to accumulate. And that's kind of like a major challenge, right? Like that I kind of wrote this. But what it does mean though, right, is that if whales do grab into these whales will probably create massive market caps. And this is kind of the only problem I do have with runes unlocking in the way it is. It's absolutely going to favor whales again, right? Like, it's funny because I was hoping that Casey, his solution for hard coding runes, I thought was going to be better for the smaller people, right? Or at least give us a chance as small people to be able to get access to it. And I guess he theoretically does, but the problem is that he built it for 4-year output, right, on the rune protocol for uncommon goods hard coded, right? The value of getting that on day one is very low, right? But so it means that we can still get access to it, but it turns more into a stable coin. And it does feel like he's designing that for increased fees on behalf of miners. That's what it feels like, rather than increasing a token's value for accessibility to all in a much more meaningful way. So this is why it's going to be really tough. And this is also why my thesis over the last week has been forming, right? And has been updating, as I've told you guys. I am much more into pre-runes and grabbing low PFPs on discounts this upcoming week than rather than over-optimizing for a day zero rune play. It doesn't mean that I'm snoozing through day zero. I will still have liquidity, but I'm actually perfectly happy on day zero if I only make like one or two very small, stupid degen transactions and that's it. I'm fine with that. I don't believe this market you miss out on the entire collective upside by not participating in day one. If that is the case, then I'll leave Bitcoin because that's not the Bitcoin I want, right? If this only turns into a whale only game, that's so much uninteresting, right? What I do want to figure out is where will this technology lead to a more equitable access and upside? And that's also the runes that I want to follow a little bit more. It's a reason why I do, right? I do love Runestone and the way that they actually did their allocation. But I don't love Runestone as they now have to compete to become a meme coin and are now attention farming and trying to play the other crypto Twitter game. It loses what I think is its actual purity and its value to a certain extent. And that's just me. That's one person's belief on how I believe crypto and Bitcoin culture should be moving. But in the end, this is the best part is we can all make our own bets. So this is why you want to bring more tools into your arsenal right now. Right? Like, it's funny. Everyone's talking about how to set up a node. I don't think nodes matter. I really don't anymore. I'm actually almost overtly convinced nodes don't matter, mainly because of one major reason. The fees are already so high, so you don't really need a node for kind of stuff here as well. So it's kind of a really large challenge here as well on this kind of design. Yeah, I'm sorry, ask anyone knows what is the difference between effective fee rate and fee rate. So the effective fee rate is telling you this is the fee that they could have paid to still get this transaction through. The fee rate is what they actually paid, right? And are ends overpaying on the effective fee rate, right? By 50. They just wanted to gas it up, right? In this transaction. You'll definitely see very large deltas in fee rates and effective fee rates on projects that are getting sniped, right? And that's kind of like another huge element here, right? Is that the biggest challenge here in this market is that everything is going to get sniped and re-sniped already. The markets have already been you're building towards that, so it's already a very competitive world there. But what you're also going to see is how well you could actually choose SAT fees will be a major edge in this game too, right? And that's the other thing we'll also want to learn is that this cool thing about doing some of this stuff is that you could put in low SAT fees or low-ish SAT fees and be okay not getting stuff, right? It just never gets confirmed in that mempool, and then you could figure out a way to cancel that transaction or it gets reverted. But like this is kind of why it's really, really difficult. Wow, I'm sorry, you said a transaction at 185 sats and it's pushed back this far? Yeah, I'm not sure why that's the case. Clearly something is getting backed up. Wow, that's actually really interesting. Um yeah, wait, why is it showing your fee rate's 185? Why is your active fee rate 123? Interesting. Sorry, I'm just looking at this kind of scenario here. Yeah, and sorry, send me your transaction link itself. Like send me the link of that page here. I'll kind of jump into this and kind of run into this here as well, which would be great. Migs, are you saying was it just solved for the Smile Club password? Was that finally solved? Oh, the block just got through. Oh, got it. Sorry. Oh shit. Yeah, okay. The block just went through. Wow, at 180. Wow, I haven't seen an 81-minute gap like that's kind of nuts. That's the longest I've seen in a very long time. And again, this is just showcasing you. This is our new reality. Like this is gonna be nuts. It's gonna be crazy. And then this market's gonna freak out when the blocks, right, get when we have one of these slow blocks again, right? It's gonna be really, really crazy at this point. Private Identity says child pays for parent is changing your combined fee rate over multiple transaction. Oh, that's what's happening. Good call, Private Identity. Very interesting to kind of note here as well. And this is kind of like super helpful to see. But yeah, this is kind of where again, you use this community to ask these questions and kind of navigate because we're gonna hit tons of edge cases, people. And that's kind of the other big challenge here at the moment right now is that because of this kind of design, you want to realize most of this challenge here in this market is going to be how do you react live based off the information that's being presented. So, the market is telling you need a node. Ignore that shit. Like, to be very honest, if you haven't set up a node, don't worry about it. There will be plenty of ways to interact with this market without nodes, and I don't think nodes will play a serious advantage in this market aside from like short-term whale game. If you had a whale game you wanted to play or you gas up on a ticker, there's a reason to get a node, right? Or if you really want to play shitcoins on day zero at crazy amounts, that's really great. But the challenge here, right, you're going to realize it's not worth really engaging in this market at this moment outside of maybe feeling something, right? So if you have a little bit of conviction, my gut would tell you is to like chase after 2 or 3 runes that are within your as long as that's within your budget, maybe only one rune day zero, and that's about it. Right? That's what my limit is like I'll probably stupidly gas up on 3 transactions to be able to claim 3 random runes, right? And I'll probably stupidly pay $100 to $150 fees for whatever those 3 allocations will be. I will probably stupidly um, mint uncommon goods in that first block or that first few blocks. I don't recommend it at all. I don't. It is a negative ROI. It is not worth it. The fees on uncommon goods access will be accessible way cheaper post 1 week, post 2 weeks, post 3 months. You could get into it. But I just like the idea of getting Rune Zero in that first block is kind of an interesting nostalgic piece for me. I expect to be negative ROI, worth fucking nothing, have almost no return. But that's probably what I'll do, and then I'll probably chase one or two total random runes. Whatever the market meta may be interested, or I feel the narrative will be, that's what I'm gonna probably do, and then boom. Just kind of sit the rest of it out and learn and see and find these details. Because what we want to actually be looking at on day zero, and we'll be here with you, we'll be live Saturday pretty much in this chat and doing like 3 or 4 events, right? And you could see our calendar's crazy. I think there's going to be like 15 to 18 events just like leading up through this weekend. So you'll have a lot, and not even all the events are showing here at the moment right now. So we'll keep bringing in more content and more availability here. But I actually think like runes is still the misnomer in this market. Runes is just the liquidity opportunity that's being introduced by the market to kind of create the degen casino. And with this degen casino, right, what you're going to realize quickly is that you want to see a few whales really win and have those whales kind of start market making the next layer up. That's kind of what you do want to see in the end, right? Which is kind of interesting here as well. Neon asked, "Do we really need multiple burners to mint runes? I was thinking of importing say to all apps because of the limited number of UTXOs I can keep." So you can import it into different wallet apps here as well, but I'm always creating multiple wallets here at the moment right now because I want to create history on these wallets, right? So I'm going to definitely use multiple wallets because I view this as an advantage on seasoning up more standalone wallets in this market. Do you actually need multiple wallets to actually engage and get profit? No, you don't. You could do it with one wallet, but you do need to optimize UTXOs, and that's going to be the one costly thing here this week if you haven't done it already on your wallet. We mentioned you guys last week to do it over the weekend of setting up the actual UTXOs for each of your wallet to allow you to have a little bit more speed in that game. But the truth is, optimizing UTXOs is more interesting when fees get lower and the market gets way lower as well. And the real reason for that is that, you're probably not max minting anything when gas fees are at 1,000 sats, right? Which I think is really important. Yeah, if you do need a breakdown on UTXO management, like one thing is like I'll do a UTXO class tomorrow, right? But like really, or I'll actually do it later today. But like, let me just give you like the dumbed down version of a UTXO. So in your wallet, you may have one BTC, but with the UTXO framework, it actually is a bunch of small bills that comprise the one BTC in your wallet, right? It's actually a bunch of small groupings for that one BTC. So depending on your previous transactions, right? Technically, your one BTC in your wallet could be represented in a lot of different ways. It could be represented with like, two $20 bills or 0.2 BTCs, one 0.5 BTC, and 1.05 BTC, right? Or 2.05 BTCs to make that up. So you kind of have these different dollar bills, right? So let's assume you have $100 in your wallet. You have a $50 bill, two 20s, a 5, and 5 ones, right? That's essentially going to total up to $100. That's what's already in your wallet. And what ends up happening is whenever you do a transaction, what the actual blockchain is doing is it's reading the bills that are in your wallet and it's selecting which of the bills will cover the cost of the transaction fees most efficiently, right? So say if you're doing a transaction and I told you like, you had 0.5 BTC, say you're doing a transaction and you had a $50 bill, two 20s, a 10, and, two 5s. Let's just say this, right? The idea is like say you're buying $70, right? In that case, what they're going to do, the blockchain will grab one of your $50 UTXOs and one of your $20 UTXOs to be able to cover that. And that will be the most efficient in that case of that model. And then it will return you whatever your return needs to be. But say you're in that wallet and it only has one $100 bill. what ends up happening is like, great, if you want to do one transaction, the blockchain will be like, okay, fine, you only have one $100 bill. Give us that $100 bill, and then we'll give you change back. So you'll get your change back completely, right? But here's the interesting thing, right? You can't do any more transactions in that block with that wallet because you're now waiting for the change from the UTXO to hit back. So this then prevents you to max mint in that block because your UTXOs weren't set up correctly. So the very simple thing is, right, if you're about to go to like a carnival, right, and the carnival's cash only and everything costs, say $5, what's probably best to do is rather than take $100 bill, just have $25 bills ready to go. So you can then go to each one of these individuals and give them their ideal five, and you could technically parallel those transactions, right? So say you're an adult and you have 10 kids and they all want to play at the carnival. It would suck if you only had $100 bill that you had to share amongst those kids. How are you going to do it? You're going to have to go manually break it. You need to find a bunch of people to give you smaller bills, and then you need to be able to distribute it across these 10, and then they would be ready to go. It'll take a bunch of time. So what you really want is you want to be ready to have the right bill size ready to go. So that's what optimizing your UTXOs are doing. It's giving you more optimal bill sizes to get more transactions in that block. And this is what a lot of people believe is the alpha is batch minting runes within a block. Because when you do a transaction, right, what they essentially want you to do is put multiple requests in that transaction here as well, right? And if you can do that, right, the bullish thing then is that you could then be max minting within that same block rather than waiting for your change to come back. You're not losing money, you're losing opportunity. And that's why you want more UTXOs here as well. But yes, Master Gokusan is right. More UTXOs means potential higher fees. So the question then begs that a few of you were asking here, like in B, is what's your sweet spot in SAT sizes for your UTXOs? Well, essentially what you want to do is you want analysis based off where you think you're going to enter in the market and what you think the SAT fees are going to potentially be, right? So if you feel that you're going to compete at 1,000 SAT fees, your UTXO size will need to be different. If you think it's going to be at 500 SAT fees, right, your UTXO size will be different, right? If you think it's going to be at 100 and lower only fees, your UTXO size is also going to be different. So there's not a very clear answer on what is the most optimal one, right? When you go to Luminex, right, Luminex gives you one thing. They're trying to tell you putting 500,000 sats per UTXO, which will cover around 20 minutes at projected gas rate of 100. Again, they're projecting the gas rate at 100. And it's funny because when you go to that site and you're trying to split stuff, the fees are already at 136 sats. So it's already higher than what they're estimating here. And that's kind of what you want to understand, right? Is that the challenge here is that no one knows the exact right size to actually get in. It's only about what you think is optimal for your plays and your opportunity. So we'll give you a few ranges here as well, right? And that's kind of the important thing, right? Is like you have to understand the actual technology if you want. Yeah, this is dense intentionally because this is the delta between ETH and Bitcoin. Bitcoin forces you to understand the technology, which I actually think is an amazing, amazing thing, right? ETH, no one gives a fuck about the technology. It's hilarious. No one gives you, doesn't give two shits of what's actually happening. But it does mean that it's a massive knowledge delta you have to clear, right? And you have to understand this because you have to speak the local language. That's your challenge if you really want gen wealth. You're coming to a new country. Your goal is to speak the language as fast as you can to find gen wealth in that region. There's no other way to get around it. Relying on translations here as well will be tough. For sure, man. And don't get me wrong, Freeman. I love that you're actually all in on Sol, but that's kind of the thing, right? Is that your opportunity cost is which networks that you can cover at the main moment. So, like in your case, my opportunity cost is exactly your upside. I'm missing out on almost everything on Sol, right? everything. I'm not doing anything on Sol. I've done nothing on pretty much any network outside of, like, honestly, ordinals and crypto and Bitcoin at the moment. A little bit on ETH, but really couldn't give two fucks about that. Right. So this is kind of the real challenge here, is where can you align when you think the market opportunity is the highest? So I do think Bitcoin is the highest, like, upside and opportunity that you can actually see. Yeah, Master Gokusan, you could actually see your UTXs on Luminex, right? So if you go to Luminex and actually use the wallet, it should show you how much are already in when you log in. Let me just confirm. I'm gonna do it real quick myself. Oh wait, I have to log in on this side. Sorry, one sec. Luminex.io. Once you log in, I'm gonna connect a wallet just to make sure it works. If I remember correctly, it should show it here. Give me just a second. Just use this first account. There we go. So yeah, it should show, like, this one's. I broke this one up crazy. You'll see on the bottom here, it shows view my 68 UTXOs, right? So it shows my 68 UTXOs for this wallet. So you could actually view them and how they're broken up here on Luminex. So that'll probably be the easiest way to kind of look at those details right now, and then you could optimize accordingly. This wallet's not optimized. There's no reason I should have 68 UTXOs, to be very honest. I was just kind of splitting it up for a lot of different reasons here as well. So again, we'll talk to you later this week. What is optimal UTXOs? But again, optimal UTXOs are only needed when you're max minting stuff or batch minting stuff, right? So this means, like, this is really needed for whales, right? Whales who want to spend very large amount of fees in a lot of ways. But don't get me wrong, you still need this optimal when fees start dropping and you're looking for entry. This is the best way to get in and out of projects here as well. And that's going to be another important thing here, right, in this kind of market. Yeah, Wild West Crypto says, what causes blocks to be fast and slow? I assume part is how long the string is of zeros to solve for the miner. But what are the other factors? Yeah, there's like a difficulty adjustment element as one of the other factors. There's like number of transactions, competing miners. But we should actually do a good breakdown on that. I think that's a really great question, right? Is like, what are all the variables that lead to the kind of randomness that we get? And usually, right, when you do get, a large, long block, like, that took a very long time to get through, what you essentially get is a bunch of unlocks right after it really quickly to get through the pool, which is nice. We're now looking at, wow, it's still at 100 sats. After that 184 sats, 3 more got cleared within the next 10 minutes. Those averaged around 155 amongst those 3. And now it's still at 111 sats in this current block, but we'll see how this will be impacted overall in this place. And what you'll recognize here, just honestly, very directly, is that it's giving you a very clear lens into the incredibly high cost future we're at. Master Gokusan has batch minting is breaking a mint up in multiple UTXOs. I don't know what that is exactly. I'm just guessing. So what batch minting is doing is that it's essentially allowing you to have the perfect size of UTXOs to be able to do as many claims of that rune within the same block and transaction of that wallet, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to efficiently get the most optimal upside of the UTXOs in your wallet to be able to clear the threshold of maximum mints you could do in that block. That's all it is, right? So, right, if you only have $100 bill, you could only do one transaction, right? And if you have five $25 bills, depending on the cost of that transaction, which we have to understand, you could theoretically batch mint 20 in that same block, right? That's what people are kind of optimizing for here as well. Yeah, there's just some good guides here. Appreciate you sharing this, Siono, here as well. There's a few really great blogs that kind of share this. This is a great one. I think a few people noted this, but this will help you understand, right? UTXO stands for unspent transaction output. This might help you a little bit more understanding where you should be going and what's the right amount of BTC per UTXO, or the right amount of sats per UTXO. We'll break down this further this week and give you an actual guidebook and threshold of the right fees. but we really want you to understand, right, the framework first. Neon says, can multiple UTXOs be used for settlement? Yep, absolutely. So, right, say if you have a bunch of $1 bills and what you're buying is $6, it will grab 6 or 7 UTXOs from your wallet to match to that as well. But the more UTXOs that are needed, technically, the higher the cost of that transaction will be. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, like, shouldn't I just split this into 1,000 UTXOs? No, that's not efficient. That's where the inefficiency comes. So this is kind of the weird game. It's not like, oh, I split it up into maximum UTXOs. No, that's not the case. What I really do think about this as well, if I was going to give you my real numbers, if you're looking to play this game in day 0 and day 1, you want probably 5 equal size UTXOs in that wallet, right? And then you probably want another wallet with 10 UTXOs, and then you want another wallet with 20 UTXOs. So you're dynamically ready based off what the SAT fees are and what you can max mint. All right, and this is again a very large whale, and I'm telling you that not only do you have to create 3 wallets with 3 different spent UTXOs, you then have to have different fees within that structure here as well. And remember, this advantage is only on the advantage on, how much BTC you have. Because after you spend that, right, and add new BTC in, if you were to do so after, you'll then have to remanage that UTXO, right, and make sure they're split up accordingly. So this is kind of like a very crazy over optimization here as well. And this is kind of why you want to keep an eye out on what's the right thing to break it up to find the right fees, right? If you don't care about cost, what you can do is just split it up quite a bit. And you could split it up quite a bit and you'll just pay the extra fees, but you'll always be getting optimal mints, right? Because, right, you could technically be that douchebag who goes to a store and pays in coins, right? Like if you have just a whole bunch of 1 cent UTXOs, you could technically then get the most optimal amount of claims in that window in terms of number, but it will be inefficient on the gas based off the number of UTXOs that are used. But if you don't care about that inefficiency, that is technically the right way to do it in a weird scenario. I don't recommend that, but that's what I want you to understand. The spectrum of this is that you need to sit somewhere in the middle and it's dynamic. There's not a real explicit number anymore because the explicit number is dependent on what the SAT fees are going to be in that market. The SAT fees will have a large impact then on the right UTXO. So if you really want to play this game right, I think it's split between 5 UTXOs at X price, 10 X UTXOs at this price, etc. And I do agree. I think really what it is Master Gokusan probably has it right. It is 10 UTXOs at 0.1, and it's 10 UTXOs or 20, 100 UTXOs or 50 UTXOs at 0.01, right? Is kind of what a lot of whales are right now gearing up to do, right? And that's kind of the other interesting thing here in this market. No one knows how much BTC, it's how much liquidity you have, right? There's here that you and there's no maximum here that you need outside of the SAT fees. So it's going to be coming down to how much you're willing to play. But remember, this is kind of the cool thing about runes, right? They don't have smart contracts, right? So all you're doing is you're just claiming. So if you just have $100 in your account, you could still be claiming stuff, right? Like you could be in there and getting here at the right level and be able to still participate at $100. You're just paying that in gas fees to be able to claim it. So this is why you should still have some stuff ready to go to be able to buy. It's not going to be something where it costs $10,000 to be able to enter. You could still play whale games for a lot of these free claims, assuming they're free, right? And you're just paying the gas fees, and you could still be in that kind of world here as well. So this is kind of why you want to look for, a few free claims, and have a few UTXOs ready for it. That's probably the smartest logic you can have on day 0, and hopefully maybe you hit on 2 or 3 free claims, right? And one of them ends up 10xing or 20xing, right? Or whatever the stupid arbitrary number you want to add there. That's probably the real thesis that you want as you kind of get ready. Oh, what did Crypto Phoenix note here? GMGM. Oh, this is Orbital Hive. We're testnet before DGNing in. Couple things to note. bugs, suggestions. We've also opened this Google form. Points. You'll be awarded points for testing out this trading protocol, reporting bugs, and breaking it. Soon enough, you'll be able to see your position amongst other traders in the leaderboard. Cool. So there will be some type of airdrop and token for Ordinal Hive, it looks like here. Good to know. So we'll see kind of where that's going to be and whether or not it's going to be worth participating. We're going to share a lot more this upcoming week of other farming opportunities that are coming, right? And hopefully it'll be pretty exciting. But what you want to understand is that this market is over optimizing for efficiency with in a incomplete knowledge framework. And I actually think a lot of these people are wasting their time. That's actually what my gut estimation is saying. Is that you're over optimizing for unknowns. What you rather want to do is just get a few scenarios covered and be set. So we'll walk you through some of those scenarios tomorrow and Wednesday on how we're getting set. And again, we're not going to be talking about whale stuff here, right? We'll tell you, if you are a massive whale who's looking to play, we'll help you out. But this is exactly why the counterplay here is being a test net, right? And a farmer in a lot of ways, because you get to do this without gas fees and you're getting access to this world. And this is kind of a nice real delta here as well as you kind of get. Yeah, Ordinal Hive does need you to be whitelisted. We're going to work with them to see if we get a few more whitelists for this community here to get on their testnet. So definitely stay tuned and hopefully we can find some more opportunities. I know a few of you are already on that list. All right, everyone. Well, I'm actually going to wrap up here. We covered quite a bit. As we mentioned, sign up for this AI tool here at the moment right now. That is coming from XBTC Bot. They will probably get you access today, if not tomorrow. Start playing around with this. Here's the Google form again. Sign up, get ready. Honestly, we're getting access to free tools, guys, and they're just paying, and all they're charging you is a fee on the cost. Awesome. Meaning that if I use the tools, sure, I'll pay them. I'm not going to pay anything ahead of time. This is what you exactly want to play around with and be able to get access to here as well. Yeah, in B, still in mental limbo on what to sell in order to play this week. It's just the most horrible time to sell other positions. It really is, man. I honestly wouldn't be looking to sell much here at this point. You almost kind of need to carry it through if you're looking to get out, mainly because it's going to be like falling daggers at this point. Every floor is going to get undercut because no one's going to pay the gas to be able to buy that asset, right? And mind you, there's a good chance, right, if fees start getting closer to 200 plus, right, all microcaps will go back underwater again, right? All mid caps will struggle to even find breathing room. It is going to be rough, but planning to exit now is probably the wrong scenario. Your last window is probably this weekend because of the fee. So that's the challenge here. So I'm almost holding on to everything in my bag here at the moment. The only thing I'm listing are if I have rare of any asset. I'm just trying to see if any whales want to come in a little bit higher than price to be able to get whale assets. That's the only thing. But again, I'm not gonna undercut the floor to get exits, because this is where you'll see all the ETH Jeters come back in and start undercutting you as well. And it's quite drastic, right? And if you do list, right, I'm just going to be that guy who's going to give you the 40% under floor offer to piss you off later. That's what you're going to see in this market. Let me just check Magic Eden again. I'm just curious to see what the volume has been in the last hour, right? It's almost nothing, right? One Node Monkey sale, 4 Puppet sale, 1 OMB sale. Quantum Cat's doing really well. The announcement clearly is getting a lot of people excited. Rune Pups have gone down to 0.118, only 7 sales, 2 R6 sales. I mean, if you're looking at the amount of actual volume in the last hour on ordinals, it's massively down. And it's only going to go down from, right? It's only going to go down until the end of this week. This is a Monday. We still got 5 days of hell to, right? 5 days of PFP hell to go through as a lot of these floors sink. And again, if you want to enter some of these communities, feel free to do so, but do it with offers, right? If you're bullish, look, if you're bullish on Ink's having 0.16 sales right now, at the moment right now. I guarantee you, as you get closer this week, you could probably pick off rares on really good bids and really good prices. I'm actually looking at it right now. tons of stuff is getting dropped in at really good prices. You could have gotten technically Rifts were selling at 0.169, 0.185. If you want some of the animals, you get them, it looks like probably for 0.03, 0.035 in that kind of range as well. So again, if you're looking for projects like this, there are going to be entry points, right? And this is where you can get in really cheap. But the honest truth is that unless you have long-term conviction, don't buy anything that unless you're willing to hold it for a month. That's the honest truth right now on the pure PFP side, right? And because of that, just know that if you're willing to hold for awesome, put in bids. Put in bids on all the projects you feel that you want to hold on, because that's how long it's going to take this market to clear, in my opinion, before really see that resurgence again. It's a pretty large rotation here, and I think that's going to be an important thing to understand as liquidity gets pulled. And at the same time, what you should be doing is keep seasoning up your wallets, keep getting ready for testnet plays, keep getting ready for early whitelists, keep getting ready for protocols. I'm even building a larger master sheet of all the tools to share with you guys on Wednesday on everything that's happening in this market. You guys will be the most informed people on BTC L2 opportunities here, right? And I think that's going to be a huge importance, right, as we kind of start getting into this market here as well. But just note, right, it's going to be rough. It is going to feel daunting. It is going to feel that you'll be sidelined quite a bit in these kind of whale games. But again, if you just have a couple $100, you could get free claims of runes even on day 0. Is it going to be profitable? Probably not. But will it help you feel something in your degen soul? Probably, right? And this is kind of why you want to really understand as you kind of keep pushing forward. It's this belief that you are going to increase your ability to get more sat, right? Keep stacking sats. Keep finding that way, right, in some manner to increase your exposure to the future of Bitcoin. Bitcoin as an infrastructure is currently realistically worth like maybe $10 billion on the actual infrastructure side. By this end of this year, it will be worth over $250 billion, I bet. I really do. By the end of this year, it means we have a 25x in this ecosystem to go across the board. That means there's going to be 100x winners within that subgroup as well, right? And that's what you want to really get excited about. There's going to be so much beyond runes. And honestly, runes is still a sideshow, because this is what a lot of people don't talk about. Dude, runes are the straight up shit coins. There's no smart contracts with runes. There's nothing intelligent you could do with runes. Runes are straight up buy sell. That's it. That's all runes are on a much more efficient UTXO model. Don't get me wrong, it's going to bring a lot of, but that's actually not where BTC DeFi is going to start from. BTC DeFi is hoping that that rune liquidity rotates into them into a lot of other opportunities and areas here as well. So that's kind of what you want. I'm not saying Ink will pump again. I have no clue. I honestly have no roadmap is what they're building. I don't know that. I'm just saying that if you are interested in these long-term projects, you could probably get some really good offers in on mid-rares right now. So find those projects you want that you have conviction in, and you can do it. I was just using Ink as one of the examples. It could be anything, right? Like the one that I'm actually interested in is Blob. I think Blob is actually interesting potentially to get into as people get strapped for liquidity here in the short term. That might have some cultural significance to get a little bit of access to. So I'm just thinking through that in my mind at the moment right now, and could be really exciting. But aside from that, find the projects that you may want entry in and see where it is. But yeah, I agree with Master Gokusan. If there's anything I'm rolling into, it's actually, for me, it's Runestone and Pups, actually. Arsic is not in my tier 1 category for only one reason. It's because accumulation has already happened on Arsic. Arsic was an active mine pre-rune. So the idea is that if you're buying Arsic now, the return might not be as strong. While Runestone and Pups are 1-to-1 guarantees of allocation on whatever that is. So I would essentially be optimizing for that as well too, because I like the fact that I could enter and still get the same allocation as everyone else. Don't get me wrong, I own Arsic. I'm just not buying into Arsic at this point as much because of that delta here as well. But yeah, don't get me wrong. There are hints that Arsic having value after having like. Don't get me wrong. I do believe there's value there. It's just for me and my thesis. I really want passive 1-to-1 shares of anything I'm buying in later. Right? It just means it makes more economic sense to me than trying to get. So it's the same reason why I'm even struggling if I buy Tiny Vikings from here. The only reason I might consider Tiny Vikings is I actually think Tiny Vikings will probably take a little bit longer to run their token. So if I'm willing to hold it for 2 or 3 weeks, I could accumulate there. I think Arsic is actually a team, and they're a legit team. I think Arsic's a very clear bet. Like, if you have Arsic, you don't sell it right now. You're holding it. You're playing this game all the way to the finish line. And the reason I'm bullish on Arsic is I actually think they're going to go way faster. I actually think they're going to move really quickly, right? And I'd really love to see them kind of get their, opportunity here and long-term upside here as well, and keep going. Yeah, Freeman, I love Vikings. Same thing. I got a squad building. I'm just gonna keep them. I just don't know if I'll accumulate more. That's the only thing. But I might, because these prices are kind of sexy. But it could be pretty interesting. Rune Whisperers, that's the PFP project, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah, I honestly don't know enough about it. I did like the free claim. I just wish it was like real art instead of AI art. Although I think they did a really great job updating the AI art to make it feel like it's all connected in, right? And that's going to be really interesting here as well. So don't get me wrong. Am I bullish on Rune Whispers? I don't have any reason to be overtly bullish, right? But I really want to understand where it'll go beyond with the AI side, and it just kind of makes it a little hard there. Yeah, Master Goku's on right. Arsic has that on that crazy whale casino side, but I also think that's going to probably be won by the team that's pooling, right? Because I think right now, like 38% of R6 are now pooled, right? Which is pretty crazy. So like, or something like that. I forget the collective, right? How much they're pooling in, and even the RSIC team has pooled into it with them as well. So it's a very large pool. So they're probably going to be the winners. But it is interesting, if you become like a huge scenario where, yeah, if none of them win it, oh, it'll be madness, right? Which will be cool. Yeah, there's still new stuff coming out, right? And that's kind of the thing. I actually like Rune Guardians, right? Is a little bit interesting. They would be also on my list. And then, as Checkmate notes, Rune Doors just came out. This is actually from the Venture Studio. I'm actually not sure exactly what they are. I don't know if they're a VC arm or a Venture Studio, but they're the team. It's Buoyant Capital. They're the ones who actually bought the RSIC for 8 BTC, right? So they've just launched this. No one knows what the fuck it is. Right? I don't even know what this is, where they're going, where will this kind of unlock, where will this value be. This market's kind of getting crazy right now with all the stuff that's being dropped. So the question will be, right, is like, will Rune Doors actually, get to a real large upside here? And is it going to really push forward here in this market? But it was very bullish to see that it minted out super fast in high sat world, but now it's stuck. And I'm not saying it's stuck in a bad way. I mean, there's still a lot of volume in this, which is pretty cool. But fuck, with sat fees going high, right? Your challenge here is that you're essentially buying one of these for $240, right? And if I was gonna buy this right now, I'm probably paying what, a 0.00. I'm paying $50 in fees on this at the moment right now. Right, which is pretty brutal, right? I'm paying $50 fees on a $240 buy. It kind of makes it very, very difficult. So exactly as Master Gokuzan knows, people are going to need liquidity. I am absolutely going to be grabbing shit. Like, what is the most active time I Can you guys hear me at the moment right now? Okay. Yeah, nothing happened. I was just literally looking at my screen and Discord just decided to shut off. I think it was because I think it was because of the whole time when Richard left, it was always weird and Discord just kind of decided to reset. Sorry about that. But what I was just gonna say really quickly is the real alpha, I think, is like let's make Thursday and Friday our days of offers, right? That's what we're gonna do here at this community, right? Thursday and Friday, we're gonna start throwing offers out and just see what we can get, right? Is I think is gonna be really fun. And that's where that's just I think people are gonna get desperate. And it's not only on Friday. Actually, to be very honest, it's not Thursday, Friday. The days of offers is Friday, Saturday because the real dumps are going to come on Saturday when people need FOMO and need that extra sats to be able to right to dump and rotate in here as well, right? And I think it's going to be really crazy. So definitely find the opportunities here, right? That could be really exciting for you to get access to. But at the same time, just realize as well your better opportunity is getting ready for the rest of the market, and this is the actual BTC DeFi long term future that's coming. That's kind of what you really want to be able to get to here, which is going to be awesome. So, with that, guys, I'm now going to really let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll have a few more chats. We'll see something later. Some of you guys can't hear. Poor people. Let me just share my screen so they could actually hear me real quick. Poor people. Poor stupid Discord. Honestly, I thought Discord was going to be more reliable than this, but shoo, I hope you could hear me now. But essentially, right, what you couldn't see in this market is that you want to use Friday and Saturday of putting in offers. That's what we really should be looking at. And Saturday probably being the sexier day, as people are just going to be really, really, really desperate. The other thing you really want to make sure that you're getting ready is everything else on the BTC L2 side. I'm telling you, like, I know Moto Swap is a little bit of a pain, but if you get through it, you've just put yourself as an edge of a first mover advantage on both a swap protocol and the CBRC20 ecosystem on your bingo sheet, right? Like, that's really awesome to have that early exposure with those accounts. And then from there, you've now seasoned up a testnet account that can now move into other testnet plays that will probably come very quickly. But the other real reason you want to get ready is that once you have that activity and you have multiple wallets with both BTC and TBTC in them, you could also then participate in all the other farming campaigns that are coming. And this is the one thing you want to realize is that farming campaigns are going to be really, really, really expensive here, right? If they're not on testnet. So this is the other thing you want to be ready for is that you might want to have enough BTC to be able to do on-chain farming campaigns as well. And if you can do that, you'll probably be able to get way more upside here in this market too. Stromberg, one question. How can they connect our testnet wallet with the real wallet for reward distribution? It's not that they could connect your testnet wallet with your real wallet. What it is that they could send you rewards to your testnet wallet, right? And then that can then be used to claim stuff potentially in the future here as well, right? But the other thing, right, is that they can then allow you to get a whitelisted role based off your testnet points, right? And claim that as well too with those airdrops. So you're going to see some weird ways because there's no smart contracts here, right? And a lot of functionalities. Some of these liquid meta protocols are creating workarounds that will allow smart contracts to happen. But a lot of this is going to be old school snapshot, claim, and submit wallets kind of process. It almost feels like we're restarting 3 years ago with even worse UX, right? That's kind of what this feels like in a lot of ways. But here's the advantage. Although we're restarting and it feels like worst UX, the best part about it is that it means that, holy shit, the entire upside opportunity is about to be realized to all of us. Like everything that is coming, I'm telling you about technical infrastructure on BTC is going to be massive. And this community is going to position for all of that stuff, right? That's kind of why I really want to do from all of these opportunities here in this market. So, guys, with that, now I'll officially let you go. Sorry about all the tech hiccups here within Discord. We'll find a way to sort that out. I hope you guys are feeling more and more confident as you get into this market. It's totally fine if you're sitting out. We'll be sitting out with you. But as we sit out mainnet, we're not going to be sitting out testnet for a lot of you. Love seeing you guys keep going after testnet. For those of you who are testnet farming, definitely get ready to share your account. We'll have rewards for those who have the highest points in our community as well. Just small little rewards. Don't expect these to be massive, but just our way of kind of giving back. Really appreciate all of you guys being a part of this and supporting this great community. With that all, keep stacking stats, and we'll hopefully see you either later tonight or tomorrow. Chat later. Bye-bye now.